That's everyone who have gone through. Me, you, and everyone who come to Canada, they all come through this culture shock.
Absolutely, I'm definitely agree with you. I think that the issue like for international students and for the immigrants that on the beginning when they start to do like all this thing they realize they spend a lot of money here. I know that career path for skilled immigrants program helps a lot.
Program designed for internationally trained professions, skilled immigrants to come after coming to Canada. Career Paths program was introduced to help people to get back into the same field. We help skilled immigrants after coming here get into the same employment. What they did back home. So networking, right? Networking virtually is acceptable nowadays. More acceptable.
I saw a job posting on the website of your company. Can you refer me to HR? It's the same that like you will knock on somebody's door and said like, can we drink coffee?
That's the most important thing. Whether you're going to be in BC, Ontario, Alberta, whichever province, just start early for applying for credentials. Don't waste any time. That's what I would say.
I had a lot of questions and they just sent me different kind of resources. Everything step by step.
By doing that, you may be connecting someone to someone, and the same thing will happen to you also.
It can be very stressful when you arrive to a new country and you have all these degrees and great experience and you're desperate here because you feel like it's all useless. Back to Work Life Compass, the podcast that helps you navigate your career, mental health, and everything in between. I'm your host, Mariia Elsayed, and today we're talking about something that can be a game changer for skilled immigrants, career strategies, licensure process, and networking. And today's guest is Badri, client and community liaison for the Career Path for Skilled Immigrants program at Back in Motion Employment Services. Originally from India, Badri moved to Canada in 2018 and now dedicates his career to helping internationally trained professionals, particularly those in the healthcare sector, get licensed and find meaningful work in their fields. Through workshops, networking events, and community outreach, Badri connects skilled immigrants with resources that helps them thrive. In this episode, we'll dive into Career Path program, strategies for navigating the job market, and how immigrants can build a strong network to boost their careers. Badri, welcome to the Work Life Compass.
Thank you, Maria, for the elaborate introduction about me. That was a very good introduction. Thank you so much.
I'm very excited to have you on the show and to talk about your work and the impact it's having on skilled immigrants. And you moved to Canada in 2018 from India and now help others navigate their professional journeys. Can you tell us a little bit what brought you to Canada and how your own experience as an immigrant influenced your work?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I started helping out people immediately after I came to Canada itself. So I came to Canada in 2018, like as a student. I started my schooling in UNBC, University of Northern British Columbia. That's in Prince George. And I was studying MBA, Master in Business Administration over there. So within a month of coming to Canada, I got an opportunity to start working in UNBC itself for International Education Department for student ISA. The role is ISA. So international student assistant. So my job was to help international student come here after coming here to blend with the culture and the community in the university. So that was my first job, and I explored lots of things during my job. I helped a lot of people blend the culture while they were here. I organized one of the major event in UNBC, that is Global U. That's the first international week. In the past they had this international week, like that's for 2 days or 3 days, but just with little bit of food and stuff like that. But when I organized, there were like more than 25 to 30 events in the whole week. Each and every day, different sectors, different cultures, and everything. Embracing the whole culture background for UNBC. So That's how I started in 2018.
That's very inspiring journey, and it sounds like your personal experience gave you better understanding of the challenges immigrants face. And what are some of the biggest obstacles you've seen skilled immigrants encounter when they first arrived to Canada?
Some of the things which I see is the cultural shock they have. That's everyone would have gone through. Me, you, and everyone who come to Canada, they all come through this culture shock. Like people from India, right? Even though we speak English, but that English is different from the English which is spoken here. That is one of the biggest shock. So that's, even though it's the same English, the meaning changes from here to that. That is one of the biggest shock for us. For like some of the challenges is like what I can think about is foreign credential recognition, Canadian experience they expect, and language barriers. Then professional networking, licensing. In licensing, the main part is how to apply. They make some of the common mistakes, most of them, because even though it's so direct, people tend to miss certain points over there. And the most importantly, the money to apply for license. It's expensive. Everything is expensive. But if you look, most of the immigrants come from a different country where the currency value is much more lower than Canadian currency value. So they have not earned in Canadian dollars yet. They are yet to start earning in net, but they spent a lot of money to come here, which is Canadian equivalent dollars, which is much more higher in their own value of money. So when they come here, that's the one of the biggest challenge people think. I will give you this is about career things I'm telling, but in very simple word, for me, right? I'm from a very sophisticated family, even though I'm from it. When I came to Canada, they introduced this. McDonald's introduced the coffee for $1. And I was thinking, $1 coffee, my God, that's like 60 rupees in India. I need to pay 60 rupees here for a coffee, and I didn't drink a coffee for a while, unless and until I earned in dollars. Now it's different. Oh, it's just $1. But the difference changed, right? It took a time for me to change from that to this. So that's a challenge, actually.
Absolutely, I'm definitely agree with you because I'm from Ukraine, and I had this issue like within a year, I believe, because I've been counting and like take a look on the currency. Or like I spent $100 like for groceries, and it was like basic one, or like we ordered food for family. It's $100, so like I could buy groceries for a week or like up to 2 weeks back in Ukraine, because the salary is different and all the amounts are different. And when I spoke with my family, and they said like how much is the coffee, and I'm like, it's $8, and they was like, oh my God, like it's a lot of money, and then you can buy like normal food like for a family maybe like for 2 days with this money, and like you just pay like $8 for coffee. And I'm like, yep. And like it was the issue, because we think like, oh, like it's expensive, but then you realize that your salary like in Canadian dollars, and then you start to realize like it's completely different. And I think that the issue like for international students and for the immigrants, that on the beginning when they start to think we spend a lot of money here and we could buy something proper back home, and that is the issue. And especially for newcomers, here's a lot of women with children and their husbands abroad, especially like from Ukraine, and they're not on their family not able to support them based on the currency, because in Ukraine average salary like is $300, and like it's nothing here. That is the issue. And applying for a license and go back to school, it's very, very expensive. And I believe that is the issue that most of newcomers are facing when they came to Canada. They think, oh, like my degree worth nothing from outside, and because I have to do all this license here and I have no money. So I'll go to
Yeah.
survival job and or like the basic job, and I'll not go back to my field because I just have no money. And I know that career path for skilled immigrants program helps a lot for internationally trained professionals. And can you give us an overview of what the program does and how it
Yeah.
helps immigrants overcome those hurdles?
Yeah, sure. Like a career path for skilled immigrant, right? That's a program designed for internationally trained professions, skilled immigrants to come after coming to Canada. Like they are given the PR, right, on the basis of the skill sets they have and which we don't have, and we wanted to bring them here to get into that. I will quote an example of a dentist from India. Okay, so there's a dentist from India earns almost 1 lakh rupees. That is like roughly $2,000 per month. So he or she comes here, and then after coming, they don't find a job. So, but they still have to have food on table. So they start going and working in Tim Hortons or McDonald's, and the minimum wages is like $16.75 or $18, right? And then we immigrants are all like it's like work very hard and they get a promotion 6 months or something, and or an increment or something like that, and they earn more money, and which is more than $2,000, which they were earning back home. So what happens is that they don't tend to go and start working as a dentist here. And if they're not going on working as a dentist here, we lose a dentist who came. We want dentist here, right? But this person is working in a McDonald's, Tim Hortons, because that's the job they got, and they're happy because the money they get it from them. But they also can earn more as a dentist. But there's a process here, so they tend to deviate from the process, and then the flow is given up. So that's why Career Paths program was introduced to help people to get back in the same field so that they don't miss it out. And so what are all the difficulties which we talked about? Canadian experience, Canadian resume, and how to approach, how to network, and monetary benefits. All of this part components are there in Career Paths program. So we help skilled immigrants after coming here get into the same employment and what they did back home, and helping with their resumes, helping them how to network and connect with the right service, right employers, and also with trying to get them licenses. Like when they say trying to get the licenses, they'll be going and applying and everything. We'll be guiding them through the process, and then. And there's monetary benefits also, like the funding available. Certain amount of funding is available for them to avail. That's totally free. This is funded by IRCC and Ministry of Municipal Affairs. So it's totally free for everyone, and they can use this funding to get the credential evaluations, or write an IELTS exam, or to apply for license exams, or anything related to professional development. They can use this funding. And the eligibility for this program is that you have to be a permanent resident of Canada within the last 10 years. Before it was 5 years. Now the ministry has increased to 10 years. That's a good thing. So when we say permanent resident, means it is only for permanent resident, not for Canadian citizen who has become citizen. We cannot accept them in the program. So anyone with a PR and have experience back home, a minimum of 1 year of experience in the pre-arrival occupation, and want to get back to same kind of occupation. So that's the eligibility, and an intermediate level of English, language level of English should be there. That's one of the requirement, because it's this is an employment program, right? In order to be employed, the employer always looks for communication, and even after getting into the program, if you don't have that, then you're not hireable. So in that case, we will refer them to a link program where they go get the CLB level increased and then come back to us. So these are some of the stuff. Yeah.
That is awesome program, and it helps a lot. But do you have any kind of workshops or networking events on the program that people could learn more?
Yes, we do workshop very often, frequently. Like every week we have some other workshop, resume workshop or job coach or something, job search cafe, and Yesterday, we organized a networking walk in Surrey, Holland Park, and 2 to 3 weeks back, we organized one of the biggest event of Back in Motion N3, that is Newcomer Networking Nexus. That we had more than 100 participants in it. So it was ending. So it's going to be online events hereafter. So we have lots and lots of events happening every week or month. Like we posted, some of the events are open to public as well, and some of them is just only for our clients alone. And so those things we won't be posting it on social media. But if anyone wants to join our events, please do follow us on Career Paths for Skilled Immigrants -BIM. That's in LinkedIn, and you can always follow us over there. And I will be posting more and more events, and you can sign up. It's free. It's if it's open, it's free. That we don't charge anyone.
Thank you very much. We're gonna share the links to the program on our page, the WorkLifeCompass page, and we're gonna share it on my LinkedIn profile and also on the description where podcasts will be published, so people can follow that, people can learn more how to register and how to attend those programs.
Thank you, Mariia. I will share our Facebook and Instagram links as well.
That is awesome. It will be very helpful. So follow the page of Career Path Back in Motion, and stay tuned for the new events and workshops that will help you to get back to your field. And networking can definitely be a challenge, especially if it's not something that you're used to do. And how do you guide skilled immigrants on the best ways to network effectively, both in person and online, especially those who don't have a lot of experience in networking?
So networking, if you see, we can do both. There's nothing about which is greater, with online or in person. So COVID has taught us to move virtually. So in that way, that's the only place we can thank COVID, so that now networking virtually is acceptable nowadays, more acceptable. The advantage of virtual networking is that you can reach out to a wide range of people far across the province and the country as well, and network with them. And the disadvantage is that there's no personal touch. So that disadvantage is with that as an advantage for the in-person networking. So you get a personal touch. Sometimes when we text someone, right, you don't know what feeling it is. We read the text in however the mood we are in. If we are in a happy mood, that's a good text. If we are in a sad mood, that's a bad text actually. So it depends upon the readers, receiver who gets the text. If you are meeting in person, we'll know how it is and how the person is really in. And sometimes we assume people by the looks and by the talk, and they would have not meant it intentionally, and we would have assumed it, and we are expected that from that person. And when we see that it's not, and we get disappointed. So that's a disadvantage in a virtual meeting as well. So it has its own perks and disadvantages over there. So I would say take an opportunity to go whichever networking you are doing. Just do it in that way.
Networking is very important, and I believe in all fields. And when we text somebody on LinkedIn, sometimes people have common mistake. They text other professionals on LinkedIn and they said, I saw a job posting on the website of your company. Can you refer me to HR? It's directly is the same that you will knock on somebody's door and said can we drink coffee? And these people don't know you, and you have to build relationship. You have to, as I always say to everybody everywhere, just build those connection, build those relationship with you. It's not we're gonna be best friends, but at least we are professionals and we know each other, and we can learn about each other, how we can be beneficial, and maybe we can connect these people with other people. Just start with soft introduction of yourself. You can send a text to this person, go and take a look on their page on LinkedIn and just see what they do, what they post, what is their position, and you can send them the message like, thank you very much for sharing this event, or like, thank you very much for sharing this information. It was very helpful. And that's it. And then start to be engaged and comment their post, like, and be the biggest follower of this person and people who work in this company, and be the biggest follower of the organization that you would like to work. And they will see you, they will recognize you. And after a while, they will see when you will text them and said like, hey, like, I'm those kind of professional, I have those kind of skills and knowledges, and I'm very interested to learn more about the company, about position, not just like refer me, I don't know you and like you don't know me. And like, it's amazing that the person would like to work in this company, but it's about the personal brand, it's about building relationship, follow up, and it's very, very important because you never know, maybe this person will refer you in the future. Like, I had situation when professionals was referred to my clients based on these messages, based on the connection. And I do have my personal experience when I reach out to some people and just tell them like, happy birthday, happy promotion, and like, I'm trying to stay in touch with these people. And after a while, if they have any kind of opportunity or like any kind of news they would like to share with me, they will text me, and we build those kind of relationship. And then when you need to ask about something like, can you attend the event? Can you be a speaker? Can you refer me? Can you share with me the job posting and about something? Then it's about that. It's always about building personal relationships.
Exactly. Like they said, some people even ask me about the references, and I will say, what should I give as a reference to? Like, that you not admit, so something like that. But instead of that, people can ask for informational interviews, and then they can build more and they know more about the company. That's where they should be using the networking, not to just to get their references. So that's my one of the biggest advice I can give to people in that.
Absolutely. And additionally to networking, it's very good to volunteer just to show your experience, to gain new knowledges and to build new connections. Is there any chances for healthcare professionals to volunteer anywhere to gain some experience and to get back to their field?
So in healthcare, right?
Yes.
People think only about the high profile jobs which is licensed. But if we go down, like MOA doesn't need a license. Certain places they need a certification, but there are most of the places don't need any certification for MOA also. Medical office assistant, and they can start applying for those kind of jobs. Yeah, dentist or pharmacist and any medical professions, they can all apply for those roles. There are many professions in the industry, healthcare industry, where they don't need licenses, and it may not be doing it. You still would have done it back home in your country as part of your job, but it's not part of the job here. We have a separate person here, so people has to look deeper and see what are the roles are the role names might be different, the job descriptions might be different. So I will ask everyone to look into the job description also and look for the right role name later. So by that, they can always look into those things. And for example, I can put an example of whom I know. There was a nurse who came here to Canada. I think that was 5-6 years back from Philippines. And she started working the second day onwards. Like nursing, it takes lots of time for getting the license and everything, right? But one of the nurses, one of the things they do, they draw blood, and there's no license to draw blood. So that person started in the testing lab and then started to take blood the next day. So that's a high demand as well. So you have to know your role, what you have been doing, and then see any one part of it you can find anything like that. So that's an example, And another one is volunteering, as you said. You can volunteer in many non-profit organizations, food banks, and places like that, where you get the connections to network with people, and that'll help you to move on as well.
Thank you for your answer. I believe it will be very beneficial for newcomers and healthcare professionals because most of them are desperate to find a way to get back to the industry. And I know that Career Path is helping people who are holding PR. And is there any program or any way for people who has temporary status or open work permits?
I'm not sure of that actually. I think there are few programs available from different service agencies, but it changes every time. And I'm not sure about anything right now. I think diversity or Pix has something like that, but I've, it was a couple of years back, so I'm not sure whether they have it now.
I believe for these people will be great to connect with different nonprofit organizations and just ask them question if there is any program and how they can get back to the industry.
Yeah, like there's lots of events happening. Like yesterday, there was this welcome event, newcomers welcome event in Surrey, and there was like 30 tables, 30 different tents. It was an outdoor event, and all the service agencies were there. So if you go there, if you go for all this kind of job fairs or events like this, people have their own booth with all the programs they have. You can go and tell your requirements and see what you are eligible for and see whether you have a program for you or not as well.
And thank you so much for your answer. And let's move on some frequently asked questions we hear from our listeners. What's the first step for internationally trained professional to get their credentials recognized in Canada?
I would suggest the first thing what they should do is research. But in my experience, most of them have researched before coming to Canada itself. Only a few haven't done, and some people when they do, they have lots of informations which they don't put it down on paper. They should put it down on paper. They have it all in their mind, and that information jumble around, in their mind. It confuses them. So I would suggest you always research properly. After that, you put it down on paper, write it down so that you know what it is, and look for the regulatory body, which is the regulatory body, because first decide where you're settling, and that's the most important thing. Whether you're going to be in BC, Ontario, Alberta, whichever province, and afterwards look for the regulatory body, because the regulatory body differs for each one of them. And then start early, like initially, like don't wait for a good time or auspicious time. Just start early for applying for credentials, and because it takes several months and several weeks or months, so you should start early as soon as possible. Like whatever it's in your hands, you need to do it. Like applying, it's in your hands. You should apply it and leave it. And the result coming from them, it's in their hands. So your job after that is only waiting for it. But before applying, don't waste any time. That's what I would say. Apply as soon as possible and do that. And follow instructions very carefully, because if you miss something, then they will put a query and then you will resolve it. And again, it's going to take the same month for them to reply. For example, it took 4 months for them to reply, put the query on. And after you finish off, then it will take another 4 months. So when you apply, look carefully and apply, finish full form. Don't have any roughly half the form or something. Don't miss any documents, and seek guidance wherever required. Even if not, you can still go out and see what you can get outside. Like as we said, like there's lots of resources available here in Canada. Like look for the resources first, who can help you. Even though you know everything, you can still go and ask them what they can help you with, or what you're doing is correct or not as well. So yeah, those are some of the advices I can give people.
It's a great advice, and my strategy when I arrived to Canada was ask everybody about everything. When I went to any kind of nonprofit organization, registered there, and I started to ask them a question like, I need a daycare, I have to attend the school, like those kind of questions. Like, and sometimes the settlement workers, they were very confusing because I had a lot of questions and they just sent me different kind of resources, a lot of different links. And then I just was spending my time just to take a look on these links, just to read more, to learn more about what they sent to me. And it was much easier because I had more information about what I'm looking for, and then I was able to share with other people. So don't be afraid to ask questions when you go to nonprofit organization. Register everywhere. You never know which organization may help you with connection, with the job, with different kind of settlement questions. So just ask them a question. Create a list for yourself, as you said. It's very, very important to have a list, because when you came to Canada, you're confused and you think like, oh, like what do I have to do? And just like, I'm here doing, like, I need a SIN number and like bank account. What else? Like, because at home we don't think about that, because everything step by step. We got our passport, or like we got our ID, and then we went to the college or university, and everything step by step. And we always have someone in our network or somebody from our family who will tell us like, you need this or you need that. And when you came to new country, you're confusing. And then after a while, when any organization or any people ask you like, do you have this document? And you like, which document? Like, do I need that? Like, where can I get it? And it's confusing. So just create a list for yourself, just small things. And there's different websites like for like new to BC. They have different kind of resources which people can read there step by step. On Canada CA, they have different resources, a lot of information. Just discover this websites and take a look. Create your own list, what you have to do to be more comfortable, because earlier you will do all these things, earlier you will feel yourself settled and comfortable and stable in a new country. And another question, what the most effective way to network if I'm new to Canada and don't know anyone?
So the first thing which I would advise for that is that attend industry-specific networking events. Like if you're in IT, like there are step-to-step program. They have this networking event. And like if you are different profession, right? There's lots of networking events happening. Look for that on different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and meetup groups and LinkedIn. Even though like we say Instagram and social media and Facebook is only for other purpose, but still there are still many networking events are being posted during those things. And there are certain groups which they have WhatsApp group also. So just look for those things, the connections over there, and join professional associations and other licensing bodies. They will have post those events in their social media pages as well, and participate as much as possible in all the online forums or communities, and you can network. I would not suggest network only with your professional people or something like that. Network with everyone. Come to know what are the professions are there and what each and everyone does. By doing that, you may be connecting someone to someone, and the same thing will happen to you also. And always you should think in mind, if you do, that's what will come to you also. So just don't expect someone to do it for you, and when you're not doing it for someone. And there are many newcomers support group. So join those things. Seek out for mentors. There is this IEC BC, an organization is there where they have the Mentor Connect program. Try to register with them. Try to get mentors. The last but not least, I will say, like, volunteer in your field in that community, and through that volunteering opportunity, you can meet many new. You'll meet a mentor or an employer. You'll never know where it leads to.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. It's a great advice, and I'm sure it will be very helpful for all newcomers. And here is the last question. How long does it typically take for internationally trained healthcare professionals to get licensed in Canada?
So it depends. We have seen people getting the license and going to job within 2 years also. We have seen people for few years as well who are still struggling in license. So it totally depends. Each and every applicant is totally different, and how the governing body sees them is different. So we really cannot comment on that. I take it as an average 2 years for everyone, but don't think that as a time. Just do your part, and correctly, things will follow. That's what I will advise.
I have a question for you about the mental health. How do you take care about your own mental health? Because you're working with immigrants, with newcomers who are facing different kind of challenges, and it can be very stressful when you arrive to a new country and you have all these degrees and great experience and you're desperate here because you feel like it's all useless. And how do you take care about your own mental health?
I can talk about how I did. Like I have my degree in engineering from India. I worked on ship as a marine engineer. I worked as second engineer on board ship. I have an MBA from India, so I'm most graduating an MBA from here as well, and have like 8 years of experience back home in various multiple fields and organizations. And so with all that, I accepted. First acceptance, this is what it is. This is a new place, so I'm still a baby here. I still have the pride that I had these things, but I'm not going to carry it forward. And that will be on my resume, yes, but at the same time, they'll think about I'm still a baby here and start from the scratch, work on it, and then use your experience as an advantage. And don't put it on your brain and thinking that I am this, I will not do this. No, try to accustom to the culture, blend into the Canadian culture, and see here. I'm back in the home, there were servants in home. We had a gardener, we had a driver, and we had housekeeping persons, and people who wash dishes as well. But here, I wash my own dishes. I used to move the lawn. On top of it, we don't have snow there, so we need to shovel snow also. So if we call anyone, they charge per hour. That's more expensive than I earned. So why am I going to do that? So this is the culture here. We change those things already. We should accept this also, that we have to change these things. That's the only change is inevitable. So I will say embrace the change and then move forward. Don't take it to your head. Only if you take it to your head, then it's a stress for you, and don't take it to your head.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I guess for most people, it's very difficult because they had different kind of life before I came to Canada, and I had this kind of feeling at the beginning because I've been a business owner for more than 10 years back home, and I had employees. I've been a big boss. I've been attending events as a sponsor, as a partner, and different kind of things. I had a little fairy who was helping me at home, and she was make my home beautiful and smell good. And when I came to Canada, I needed to take care about billion things by myself, and plus building my career in different field. But after a couple of months being in Canada, I found out that I'm a different person here. And I start to have different needs, different values. And I found my purpose, helping people, because I did that back home, but it became different. I had a project for struggling mothers to teach them digital skills and digital literacy and sales, how to build e-commerce store. I had this project for 4 years. It was very successful. When I came here, I found out that I'm not able to continue that, unfortunately, and that I'm not able to get back to e-commerce business based on the documentation and many different things. And then I found myself volunteering for 6 months in nonprofit organizations, and I was very happy. And then when my case manager at Work BC in Maple Ridge, hello Michael, he told me, you can work in nonprofit and helping people, and you will get a salary, you will get paid for that. And I said, is it profession? Is it real? People are getting paid just helping other people? And he said yes. And it was amazing. And then I found that this field is even more interesting for me. I enjoy this more than sales and like retail, and it's more about me. It's something that many years of my life I've been trying to do that, and now it's become clear that this is what exactly I have to do. So I became completely different person. And for people, of course, you have a degree, you have work experience, but now you came to Canada and you feel like, yes, I would like to continue if I will be able to in my previous profession, but I enjoy this new profession more. And it's different. It's about the building different new values and new best version of yourself for now. You never know. I always say I don't know who I want to be when I will grow up. I will try different things.
Exactly. It's a good one.
Yeah. And now one of the last questions. What motivated you to join the WorkLifeCompass podcast?
I just saw like as I said, I usually help out people, right? That's a part of my job, and then I'm already doing it. So I would like to like promote it as well, like what I did, so that it will get them a boost and a motivation to work on that as well. Like if it changes someone's life, I'll be happy in that way.
That is amazing. Thank you very much. We have a lot of healthcare professionals from abroad and who just seeking for help. And I believe that career path in Back in Motion doing amazing thing and giving people motivation, inspire them to continue and helping them not by just the good advice, but also with the actions and with the strategy and guide them what they can do. And they came to you desperate, and then they have a strategy, they have something to follow and something what will inspire them to continue, even they are on their survival job for a while, but they know it will not be forever. And for everyone who's starting with survival job or any kind of entry-level job, it will not be forever. Don't forget about your dream and don't stop to learn, because if you like to get back to your industry, you have to stay updated. You have to learn, you have to gain new knowledges all the time, and don't forget why you do that. Give yourself time, tell yourself, okay, I'll be at this job for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, 5 years if needed, just to provide for my family. And then I will build a new career and new life. Of course, mentally and physically, it can be tough. It's difficult. It takes time, but you know why you do that. You have a goal and don't stop to do that. And what is the final advice what you would give to our audience?
I would say networking is the best thing. So I'll just go back and say the networking itself, and be open-minded and help people, help as much as you can. That's when you get the help as well. So the help is not anything that you have to put financially stuff. I'm not saying that. A small direction showing someone, that itself is a huge help for one person. You may not know, it might be a small thing for you, but it might be a bigger thing for them. So think in that way, and small things will also change people's life.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Badri, for sharing your insights today. And the work you're doing is truly impactful. And I'm sure our listeners, especially skilled immigrants, have gained a lot of experience and advices.
Thank you, Mariia. Thanks for the invite as well.
Thank you. And to our listeners, if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to WorkLifeCompass and share it with anyone who might benefit from today's conversation. If you're a skilled immigrant or healthcare professional looking to navigate the Canadian job market, don't hesitate to reach out to Badri through the Career Path program. And until next time, I'm Mariia Elsayed, and you've been listening to WorkLifeCompass, your guide to navigating work, life, and everything in between. Stay strong, stay positive, and keep moving forward.